Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Spiritual Literacy Love Her podcast, a faith based podcast where we talk about navigating the Christian walk and we speak about mental health. I am your host, Arthur J.M. Let's talk about it. Now, by the time you get this podcast, it is going to be 2026. So, Happy New Year's, everyone. Listen, we are a startup podcast here. So, whoever subscribes to this channel, I greatly appreciate you. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love to know and hear your feedbacks on these topics as the Lord allows for me to bring them to you. Now, I want to talk about something that I did last year that may can help you this year, and maybe you don't realize that you have this addiction. This thing that I'm talking about is getting rid of the smartphone and going to a flip phone. Now, I know that people have already started doing this. There are different videos of people and their experience. I just want to talk to you about my experience, what I learned, and what God has revealed to me. Now, in 2025, God told me to get rid of my smartphone. He was already coming to me saying that I am addicted to my phone, and I was just so in denial at first. Like, me addicted to my phone? No, I'm not addicted to anything. But slowly but surely, my eyes began to open, and yes, indeed, I was addicted to my smartphone. It was so bad, y'all. I could not leave my house. If I was 30 minutes out away from home, I would travel right back just to go get my phone. I couldn't go to sleep. I couldn't go to the bathroom. Now, if you're like me, when you're in the bathroom, you're taking a bath in the shower, using the restroom, you want to, hear sound. So I still watch YouTube or listen to music while I'm in the restroom, but I don't bring my phone. Now, when I got rid of my smartphone and I'm being obedient to God, and I went to the flip phone, I went out and I do a lot of pickup orders. Now, I realized how crucial the world has made a smartphone nowadays, and I also realized why God pulled me away from it. Going to pick up, most of these places, these stores want you to use the app. Of course, I am now a flip phone owner and user. I can't just use the app. I have to find another way, right? Because when you pull up, there is no phone number. You can't call anybody. Now, Walmart and some places still have that phone number intact, and I was like, wow. It's kind of frustrating too. At first I was like, why don't they have a phone number? Not everyone has a smartphone. But it opened up my eyes to how much society has changed since being in high school to being an adult. Things have really changed. Like, it's almost like you can't do anything without a smartphone. You can pay with your smartphone. You can pick up your orders, send a text, Google something. You can fill out forms on your phone. So a lot of these things I had to change my way in doing. Now, when I have to fill out certain forms to go to doctors or other places like that, I typically, used to do it the way everyone else has done it, through the smartphone. Now I have to get them to send it to my email. And when I just remember, when I ask, can you send it to my email? Because nowadays they can just send it through your phone, through a text message, and you're done. I can hear the questioning, the irritation in the other person's voice. Like, why do I need to send this to your email? I can just send it to your phone. It's quick and easy. I do have a backup phone, but it's nothing like how it was when I initially started this process. When I initially started this process, I was looking crazy. I didn't know what to do with myself, going to doctor's offices, or sitting in lobbies and waiting. Most of the time people are on their phone, and I realized I can't be on my phone. I don't have a smartphone. So I would just find myself like looking out the window or something, I always feel, and it's still something I'm working on, feel a little awkward because everyone's on their phone and I'm just looking around. So I had to learn how to be without a smartphone. I guarantee you're listening to this podcast and you're like, Arthur JM, what? Yes, you have to learn how to be without a smartphone. And that is one of the reasons why God pulled me away from my smartphone addiction. Now, I was addicted. I am no longer addicted to a phone. And I am even more so monitoring my own self, ensuring that I'm not even spending a lot of time on my tablet or sitting at my computer too long, because a lot of times when we get rid of one addiction, we'll go to the next thing. It's like, okay, if I can't eat a lot of sugar, then I'll just go to salt type thing. So I monitor myself. I intentionally fast away from social media. I fast away from these things that could become an addiction to me, because I don't want to be addicted to anything. It's not a drug like a substance, but it's almost like it, because if I can't function in society without a smartphone, then there's something wrong. So I made this podcast to maybe help you. Maybe this podcast came across your feed because the Lord wanted you to hear this. You need to fast away from your smartphone. I fasted away from my smartphone for a whole entire year. And honestly, I don't miss it. Now, if I'm being transparent, in the beginning, I was like, man, like, God, did I hear you correctly? But I heard him correctly. It was him telling me. I have found ways now. I have a tablet if I need to do something on the go. And then I have that backup phone. One of my biggest challenges, I guess you would say, to overcome in this was going out into society and speaking on a flip phone. I knew people were going to look at me and stare. I knew people were going to like stereotype me. It was just a lot. But over time of going out and not really caring what people think, because knowing why and who I was doing this for, I did not care. It gets easier. I actually find convenience of talking on a flip phone and a smartphone, because you don't have to worry about accidentally hanging up on someone because your cheek hit the touch screen. I mean, that has happened to me so many times, especially when I'm trying to just put the phone between my shoulder and get something done. That is another pro about switching to a flip phone. Out of all of this, what I have learned is that the Bible tells us not to be conformed by this world, and just because they are pushing this smartphone type thing, you don't have to be a slave to it. Now, if you have a smartphone, and maybe this podcast is not for you, honey, maybe you don't have an addiction to smartphone, but if you have an addiction and you're trying to break it, then I'm speaking directly to you. You can do it. My first few months, I was sweating, but it got easier. I found better things to do with my time instead of scrolling on social media or just fiddling with the phone. I mean, I had it bad, y'all. Like, I would literally download apps to customize my phone and all of this stuff. It was a mess. So what I have learned is there's better things to do with your time. I had more time to read and study, to pray, to speak to God. I started reading books. After realizing I was addicted to my smartphone, I started fasting away from social media, and I really just started to take time to sit in quietness. Because ultimately, when we have an addiction or something that we're putting before God, we are missing his voice. We are blocking out the connection that we're able to have with God. And you cannot have anything before God. So even if your addiction is maybe it's not a smartphone, maybe you just have all these social media accounts and you just find 90% of your time scrolling through social media, then maybe you need to just fast away from social media. The goal of doing things like this, the goal, and from what I've seen other YouTubers doing this, they have talked about how their relationship with God increased. And maybe you have seen a video, but they didn't stand out as well. I'm here to tell you, if you have seen this and heard this podcast, you need to fast away from the smartphone. You need to develop a more deeper connection with God. You need to be able to hear His voice. We are in times where we can't afford not to hear His voice, honestly. That's just the times we're living in. If it's not the smartphone itself, maybe it's the social media thing, maybe it's too much time at the gym. Whatever it is that you're putting before God, you need to fast away from it. So throughout this journey of fasting away from the smartphone, I am truly grateful and thankful that I was able to do this for the Lord Jesus Christ. He strengthened me, He aided me through this, and I know I find myself at times like, man, I don't want to really be online, but this is work, this is my business. So it's like, how do I find a balance when my business is an online business? Like, that's another topic for another podcast. But I am so happy you all stuck around to the end to listen to my very first podcast episode 1, breaking away from the smartphone. I hope to see you all in episode 2, where we start to talk about work-life balance from a spiritual perspective. And please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Bye.